Hi Hoopers, welcome back to the Shoesayer. Today we're looking at the sequel to the Harden Volume 7s, the Harden Volume 8. I really enjoyed playing in the Volume 7s, so I did have to buy these. Played in them a couple times already, and I can't wait to share what I found with you guys. Let's jump in the video. So how I look at performance is, do these shoes improve my attributes, my skill attributes? Does it make me faster, increase my endurance, my dunk, my rebounds, right? So that's what I consider in the performance, where we look at cushion, traction, stability, and durability. So let's dive in. Under performance, we're gonna start with cushion. So how's the cushion in these shoes? It's awesome. It's great. So they're using their Jet Boost technology. That's Adidas. You can see the boost peeking through in the heel there, and also in the pods here in the forefoot. And how do these feel, right? The cushion is great. How I would describe it is mushy, but is implemented in a way that is very responsive, right? So it's a great cushion setup. You feel the ride. I'm gonna have to show you this with a cutout, but you feel the ride underneath your foot. Here, there is a cutout underneath the insole, just on the strobo board. And because of that cutout, you can feel the Jet Boost directly underneath your foot, and that increases step-in comfort. And then overall, you have Jet Boost throughout the length of the midsole, right? So it's an awesome ride, and it feels very stable. It feels mushy, and at the same time is implemented in a way that there is no lag, and it also feels very responsive. So top marks for cushion there, and Adidas have been doing a great job in terms of cushion. The AE1s also have Jet Boost implemented, and that's a great setup as well. And the Harden Volume 7s had a mixture of light strike and boost, I think, and that was also great. But this, I would say, is slightly feels more premium. It slightly feels more comfortable in comparison to the Volume 7s, but both of them have a max score of 2.5 for cushion. Now for traction, Adidas hasn't been playing at all with traction, right? They just give you straight up radial or herringbone. And here they've added these maze-like looking H patterns. Maybe that's for James Harden. But you have radial in the forefoot, you have some herringbone, and then you also have these H nubs, right? So traction is great on a clean court. I played on a really dirty court, and I had to wipe every 2-3 times down the court, so that's something to watch out for, but it was extremely dirty. Overall, great traction performance, and I would give it a score of 2 out of a possible 2.5 for traction performance. And then for stability, so just check this out, right? This hollow looking like frame, I don't know if you guys watch Bleach, but it looks like one of those hollows, right? That frame over there. They are EVA, so they're foam, but when you put your foot in them and you tighten up the laces, these frames lock onto your forefoot and your midfoot, so you feel locked in all the time. There is no heel slippage. You can see how the heel here and the heel counter are curve shaped, almost like a complete U, and they cup your foot in the footbed, so you're not going anywhere. If you're a big guard, if you're a small guard, or you're a big center, whatever you might be, these shoes are max for stability. Obviously at the bottom they have a torsional plate, so you can't even, damn, I might break my my fingers, but you can't spin this either way on this axis, right? So in terms of stability, you'll be fine 100%. So max scores for stability 2.5. And then for durability, same thing. These grooves are super stiff. I think only these H nubs are a bit lighter, are a bit easier to apply, right? You can move them a little bit if you really try, but overall the grooves are thick all around. So in terms of traction durability, also a 2.5 max score. So performance is super on the Volume 8s, and I would give it a score of 9.5 over a possible 10 for performance. These are top. So moving on to comfort, right? Can I wear these shoes for hours and hours without feeling like taking them off and just forget that I have them on my feet in the first place, right? So we're gonna start with fit. just go true to size. First off, let me talk about sizing. These will fit true to size for most people, I believe. And how do these fit? These fit awesome. You open the laces, you put your foot in, and then it's locked down all the way with these frames, and you're not going anywhere anytime soon, right? So just quickly, max score for fit 2.5. Also, they have these, this knit really feels good on foot, right? So there's no discomfort at all with these. Then moving on to ease of putting on and taking off, it's also very similar. Once you get past these laces, you can see this knit material is just look at that, right? It stretches all the way, so you can also use the heel tab right here and just put your foot right in, and then you're good to go, right? So easy to put on, so easy to put off. Not gonna waste too much time in this section and just give it a max score of 2.5, okay? And then for breathability, I think that's where the shoe suffers a little bit, right? So it's not hot per se. Like if you play in them, you can play them I played in them for like 2 hours for 2 days, and I didn't feel my feet getting hot. Granted, I didn't play where there was air conditioning, so it might be different if you're playing outdoor under the sun. However, I would say they're not the most breathable just by looking at them, right? So there isn't any real ventilation design into the shoe, apart from the knits, which might be like a micro mesh that might allow some air through. Because once I stretch it, I can see some holes through there. So that might be the design, which is why I didn't feel it getting too hot. Very minimal airflow, I would say, but not the best for breathability, if I'm being honest. So for breathability, I would give it a score of 1.5 over a possible 2.5. And then weight. So it's funny, right? Because the Harden Volume 7s, the AE1s, and these guys, the Volume 8s, are a bit heavy on hand. But whenever it's designed in such a way that when you put them on foot, they do not feel heavy at all, which is crazy. I think it's definitely something to do with the weight distribution and the materials and how the offset, etc. But it's definitely not uncomfortable to play in at all. I always forget it's that heavy when I put it on foot. So it's a good implementation. And hold on, if you want to see a pair of heavy shoes, I'm going to show you one second. So these are the Way of Weight 8s. I got these shoes after watching several reviews that they were one of the best shoes ever, blah blah blah. These shoes are heavy on hand and they're heavy on foot. Like they feel like you're trucking it whenever you're just running up and down the court. And I can barely play up to 30 minutes in these, right? Really, really heavy shoes in comparison to these guys, right? Who feel heavy, right? But they are actually light on foot, right? So yeah, probably don't get these. But for weight, I would give these a score of 2 out of a possible 2.5. Overall, for comfort, we have a fit 2.5 score, ease of putting on 2.5, breathability 1.5, weight 2. So overall, 8.5 for comfort. One of the most comfortable shoes I've played in a long, long time. These shoes will have you going. The only knock is that breathability, which isn't too bad if I'm being honest. So 8.5 for weight. Okay, so moving on to design and aesthetics. You want to play good. At the same time, you want to look good while you're breaking ankles and scoring points and dropping dimes, etc. So starting with visual appeal, these shoes on hand, they look nice. I do like them. And I think what typically happens is I see these shoes, people post the worst pictures of them pre-release, and I'm like, these are ugly. And then I get them to review, and on hand, I'm like, okay, these aren't bad. And on foot, I'm like, these aren't bad, right? So I personally would play in this again. And I don't mind. It's not my favorite look, but I actually do like the silhouette of it. I like what they've done with the frame here. It is quite unique, and it has this. It reminds me of the anime Bleach. I do like that, so I'll give it a 2 out of a possible 2.5 for visual appeal. And then for style versatility, to be honest, personally, I am not wearing these anywhere apart from a basketball court. So for style versatility, I'll probably give it a 1.5 over 2.5. That's just my personal opinion. And for innovation, I would say these shoes are very innovative. The design is great, is new. We have definitely not seen anything in terms of sneakers like this. It looks like a shell within a shell. and then it has like this knit inside, which is a pretty nice design, all that. So I like where Adidas is taking it to the point where it's forcing us to look at shoes differently. So at least for innovation, even if you might not like it aesthetically or it might not have the most style versatility right now, for innovation I would give it a max score of 2.5 over 2.5. So yeah, kudos to Adidas Basketball on making these shoes look stranger and stranger each time. And then for materials, definitely this is a top shoe in terms of materials. You have the Jet Boost here, you have the solid hard rubber traction here, you have these EVA pieces, right? So just different mashups. You have a plastic piece at the back here as the heel counter. You have some sort of knit here, very flexible knit here. You have another material for the heel tab. And there's just so many things going on in the shoe, and it's really nice. Plus the colors, all of that. So materials, I would give it a 2 out of a possible 2.5. The reason why is, I always nitpick when it gets to very like good shoes, but this insole material, if you can see that, right, the signature for Harden. I wore these only twice, right, and this is peeling all the way off, right? And the other one is completely gone, right? So, I think your insoles should also be quality. And also, right, you have this material which picks up dirt pretty easily. It feels like sort of like a Dbook material, but it picks up dirt. Like, so I walk down the court 2-3 times and it's already dusty. I have to stop and wipe. So that too, I feel like this could be a little bit more premium, which is why I just give it a score of 2 out of 2.5 personally. All right, so overall for design and aesthetics, the Harden Volume 8 gets a score of 8 out of 10. Great score all around, good for visual appeal, great innovation, great materials. I just think for style versatility, it's kind of average. So, that's the only place where it gets a 1.5 over 2.5, but overall 8 over 10 for design and aesthetics. Okay, so for affordability, these shoes cost me retail, which was 210 CAD at the time. So again, I enjoy playing in the shoes. I really like the tech in the shoes, but I don't feel that shoes should be worth that much, period, right? That's just my personal opinion. It's just not, it doesn't take that much to make these shoes that you have to charge 210. And we've seen similar shoes from the Chinese brands come in, and they're equivalent and even better in terms of quality, and they have lower price points, like the AG4, which is a really, really good performer and has really good tech in it, and like some other leaning shoes, which I'll probably review later. So at the end of the day, 210 is a steep price to pay for a pair of Hardens, right? So I would give it a score of 7 over 10 for price, just because it's still a good performer. So overall, the Harden Volume 8 has a performance score of 9.5. It has a comfort and fit score of 8.5, design and aesthetic score of 8, and a price score of 7. And the overall score for the Volume 8 is 8.3. And this is a solid performer. If you didn't know whether to get these and you were thinking about them, if you can get them at retail, please go ahead. These are one of the most comfortable shoes I've reviewed all year, and they're great. Traction, performance is good. Hardly any knocks, right? Breathability is not terrible, so that's not really a problem, except you're trying to buy a basketball shoe that you're also going to wear to a party, and maybe this might not be for you, and if that's not your style. But overall, it's hard to find or penalize this shoe for anything, maybe aside from the price. So definitely go get you these Harden Volume 8s. They're a top performer, just like the Volume 7s. Similar stats. I think they're almost around the same thing. I did review them side by side, and I might post that later, but essentially they have the same scoring overall. But these are great, and if you like the silhouette, please go get you one. And that's it. Definitely a stamp of approval for me. Okay, thank you guys a lot for watching. Thank you for the support so far. Please like, subscribe, share. In the comment section, tell me if there's anything you want me to review or any shoes in particular that you like. Tell me what you think about the Volume 8s. And yeah, Thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye, Hoopers.